champion. Gary Casey of Pittsburgh, Massachusetts, faces the challenge of Peter Surette of North Reading, Massachusetts on Candlepin Bowling. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Candlepin Bowling. I'm Don Gillis. And did you miss us last week? I hope you did. As always, this is 3 strings of Candlepin Bowling here at the Fairway in Natick, Massachusetts. Total pinfall determining our winner. Each bowler takes home a permanent souvenir. These are provided by the Ace Trophy Company of Boston. Each will also take home some guaranteed prize money. We have $1,200 guaranteed, $700 to the winner, $350 to the runner-up, $50 available to the winner of each string. And there are several other ways, of course, that our bowler can pick up some extra money. And I guess most of you know it. However, I will remind you as the program goes along. Right now, let's talk to today's bowler, shall we? Peter, nice to see you back again. And I know you're not even thinking about the 400 that you threw when you were on here before, huh?
No.
No. And you're not thinking at all about the 3 strikes that you threw, huh?
No, I'd like to do it again.
Well, that's positive thinking. You know, you lie in bed there and say, okay, I did. And when I come on, I'm going to do that. Well, and this is for the pride of the family, too, huh?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, good. And Gary, of course, Uncle Ray comes down here and watches you, and I think you're about putting him to shame the way you're doing it.
No, I don't think so.
Well, you've had 5 in a row, plus our big championship show, and you had a rest last week, so let's see if the rest did you some good, okay? All right, good luck to you, and also to you, Peter, and we'll get underway right after this.
Today's Candlepin Bowling is sponsored in part by your neighborhood True Value hardware store.
2 full on the head pin, and he fired it. Fortunately for him, he didn't lose anything because he went right down the same spot where he winds up with a 9. But with that second ball, he did have his shoes stop at the foot-foul line, but he did go over it. However, didn't touch a single pin, so he didn't lose anything. Now looking at 1, 9, 10 with wood. Wood in front of the 9. Nice shot. Gary Casey with 5 consecutive wins. Not only trying for 6, but also trying to put up a big number that would bring him back to our championship show next August. Everything down except the kingpin, the 5. There's a piece of wood off to the left, and it threatened to commit a position to be a roadblock, but now it's moved off to the left, and as soon as it stops, he will fire. He missed the 5, and whether the wood had anything to do with it or not, I'm not sure. He was all over it for the 10. He has 4 on the right, 1 on the left. One, 2, 4, 9 plus 7. And he made it. So each bowler has a spare in the second. And our challenger, Peter Surette, is about to throw his bonus ball. Here it is. 8 down and spare lead. 4 and 7 with good wood in front of it. He has it. 2 marks in a row. As you know, 3 marks in a row will establish a bonus of $50. Half Worcester, left side, punching out 2 and 8. It will not be 3 marks in a row. He still has the 1 and the 4 standing. They are still there. Now our defending champion working on a spare. Gary Casey fires, and it's a little too full. He gets 7. The corners are full, and he also has the 2-pin. 3 pieces of wood, all on a parallel plane in back of that 2. He made it. 2 in a row. Big 9. Time call by Ralph Stewart, our love line judge and referee. He wants to check on a piece of wood. He says it is behind the deadwood line, and so the 6-pin is the object pin for another mark. Ooh, he just got it. I mean, he just got it. $50 in bonus money, and our first check on the scoreboard after 4 boxes in the first string. It is now, with the bonus ball still to be thrown by Gary Casey, 56-47. Two, 4, and 10. That's what he's looking at. League average 120. Too bad he missed the object pin. His high single is 189, and his high triple is 454. It's a 9. Peter won his 5-string roll-off with a 622. That was right on the head pin. And he has made a spare. It's the 4th appearance on our program for Peter. And this is the 6th consecutive for our defending champion, Gary Casey. Plus, of course, the championship show, which he won. Just 2, half Worcester, left side, punching out 2 and 8. So the bonus money stops at 50. It's an 8 as he left the 3 and 9. Three, 6, and 10 over on the right. 4 and 8 on the left with wood in between. Nice. Oh, pretty shot. That open 5th box is looks a little haunting at the moment because of what might have been. And a big 9-pin drop for Peter Surette. He has the 10-pin, but he doesn't like the wood that's in front of it. Let's see if he can still... Good. He went for a piece of wood far over on the left and came in basically behind the piece of wood, which could have been a roadblock. Eight is the drop. 2 and 5 to convert for another. Oh, too bad. Got the 2, but not the 5. Excuse me. Got the 2, but not the 5. A 10. 103 through 8. Gary Casey again working on a spare. Six. 2 is the object pin, but he also has 7, 5, and 9. Took the 2 and 5. Excuse me, I said 7. It was 7 and 10. I'm sorry. And they are still standing. Goes for the 10, and it's a 9 box. Time call by Ralph Stewart. Ralph, of course, is our lob line judge and referee, and he is checking on a piece of wood that is rolling toward our bowler. It has come this side of the deadwood line, therefore it is removed. There is one more piece of wood, which is about where number 1 would be. The 3-pin standing 2, 4, and 7. He got just the 2. Three-pin lead right now for our challenger as he goes into the final 2 boxes of the first string. Everything down except the 9-pin. And he has very favorable wood in front of it. Spare in the 9. 113. And a hammer. Boy, there was no doubt about that. That was an explosive hammer. Bang, they were gone. First ball gets him 5. He's going to go for the 2, 4, 7 over on the left. Total of 8. Fine, 141. Gary Casey has a strike in the 9th. Each of these bowlers in previous appearances has had 3 strikes for an extra bonus of $1,000. 2 pins, 4 and 5. That's what he's looking at right now. Can he? Just missed. For a 129? Yes. 129. And $50 in bonus money goes to Peter Surette as he won the first string by a score of 141 to 129. Off, he is Gary Casey of Fitchburg. So close to a strike. 9 pins still standing. 4 pieces of wood scattered around, and I cannot see from here whether one is up against it or not. It was not, so it was a roadblock, but it did. A piece of wood came back and rocked it. What I wondered about, and obviously it was so, the piece of wood was not up against it. It was on an angle, so when the ball came in, ball went one way, wood went the other. 9-pin was still standing, although a piece of wood did roll back and make it rock. Five, 8, 9, and 10. Took out the triangle, 5, 8, and 9, but the 10 is still there. It's a 10. Peter Surette, North Reading, today's challenger. Backdoor strike. He had a triangle standing, piece of wood came and wiped them out. And he's still getting backdoor action. Everything down except the 8-pin. Looked like a real thin hit, then they started tumbling. 8-pin with wood in front of it. He's got it for 2 marks in a row to begin the middle string. He wipes some perspiration off his brow and rolls his eyes because he knows that he was fortunate, particularly on the strike. Now, Gary Casey. And Gary gets some backdoor action. He's left with just the head pin. Gary makes the spare. Al Giglio keeping score on our electronic scoreboard. Isaac Laughinghouse keeping score for the folks who are here. Punch out. Just for Ralph Stewart, our live line judge and referee. Look at those socks. Look at that sweater. Wow. It's a 9. Two marks in a row, trying for 3, working on a spare. Peter Surette gets some more backdoor action. So the fill is 8. He has 3 pieces of wood to the right of the 5-pin and in front of the 10. Didn't hit the proper piece of wood, so he got only the 10. Is it going to be? No, it's not going to be another strike. Almost, but he has a single pin to pick up the 4. Just missed it to the left. As you can tell, even those of you who are blind or have limited sight, you can tell that Peter Surette is a very fast bowler. In addition to throwing the ball hard and fast, he is very fast in what he does. And after 4 in the middle string, he leads at 58-43. Champion Gary Casey rolling in the 5th box of the middle string. Half Worcester right side punching out 3 and 9. Five and 6 still standing. They are still there. It's an 8. Everything on the left still there. 4 horsemen plus 5 and 8. Seven and 8 still up. Waiting for wood to settle down. One about where number 1, one where 5 would be, and one in between the two. He got just the 8. It's a 9. Peter Surette. So close to a hammer, he has left the 10 pin. He made the spare. Before I forget, Peter wanted me to say hi to his son and daughter, Peter and Jacqueline, who were unable to make it today, but for our taping, but they promised to watch it. He gets 6. 4 horsemen left side. And he makes the 4 horsemen left side and keeps adding to his lead. 35 pins right now. One pin to pick up for a spare for Gary. And he made it, although he shakes his head because he didn't go right at it. He hit it off the piece of wood, and that's not exactly what he had in mind. Eight is the fill. 9 and 10 are the 2 pins standing. The wood, there are 2 pieces, and rolling up pretty close. It appears as if it's in a pretty good position. He made it. So 2 in a row for Gary Casey. Already 2 in a row up on the board for our challenger, Peter Surette. Big 8, and he is leaving himself good spare leaves. He's got the 4 and 7, 2 pieces of wood, just off to the right. Oh, the 7 didn't go down, which was a big surprise. Now it does for a 10. He's at 102, and that's through 7. Now looking at 1, 3, 7, and 10. Oh, what a pretty shot for the 10. Gary Casey coming up. Before I forget it, our crew today, Bob Armitage, Joe Sukar, Kevin McSherry, Skip Peabody, and our producer-director, Phil Rubin, George Ellard in post-production videotape. Here now is Gary Casey firing on a spare, and he gets a rather thin hit. 2 more have dropped, but he still has a split. 4, 7 on the left, 10 on the right. And a piece of wood just the right of about where number 1 would be. And it's parallel to the pit. He used it to get the 10, but the ball did not go over to get the 4 and 7. It's a 10. 105. Got a break. 6 toppled into the 3, and he is left now with 2 and 4. Did not get it. Got just a 2. $115. So Peter Surette has an opportunity to add to his lead. Seven is the fill on his spare in the 8th. No wood to help. He's looking at 2, 4, and 6. Good try, boy. He split them beautifully. He sent that 2-pin over, and it went flying right behind the 6, but didn't catch it. For a 10. Yes. $129 already through 9. All right, diamond left side. 2, 4, 5, and 8. Nope. Diamond wins again. 5 and 8 still there. 137. 138. And another $50 in bonus money. Peter has won both the first and the second string, each worth $50. And winning this one 138 to 115, third string. Our challenger, Peter Surette, leading by 35. One, 2, 4, and 8. He made it. Eight. 6 and 10. That's what he's looking at to try to convert. And the piece of wood is kind of sticking its nose in where he doesn't want it. Nope. It turned out to be a roadblock. He was unable to get them both. So he got the 6. 10 is still there. 9. Now Gary Casey. Our defending champion. Seven and 9. The 9 rocking back and forth, but not going down. Rolling wood. Boy, that's a real teaser, that son of a gun. Way out to the left, and then it went all the way past the 9-pin. It's still rolling. Just a little bit forward of where the 2-pin would be. He'll try it. It worked. Son of a gun, the corners are full. 7 and 10. And Ralph Stewart calls time because a piece of wood has rolled well this side of the deadwood line, and it is removed. There are two pieces of wood about where 1 and 3 would be, and he will try again to utilize the wood just as he did in the first box. Can he do it? Got just a 7. Misses the 10. Now Peter Surette. He, yes, has a strike. He has 2 strikes in a row. And back on January 25th of 1986, Peter Surette rolled 3 strikes in a row for an extra bonus of $1,000, and he rolled a 414 that day. Gary Casey rolled 3 strikes in a row the very first time he was on our program. And he gets a slow motion backdoor strike. Gary did his on the 17th of August of this year. He has 2 strikes in a row. And all of you know, everybody here knows, there's an extra bonus of $1,000 for 3 strikes in a row, and each of them has a shot at it. Peter takes the first, and yes! He just did it. Don't forget, it's still alive. If he rolls another one, it's worth another $1,000. It is still alive. For another. He missed by 1, and it was the head pin. 9-pin drop. But had that one gone, it would have been worth another $1,000. And unbelievably, he missed the single pin. So it's a 9 and 10. 9 for the fill and 10. All right, now Gary Casey has a shot at doing exactly the same thing. He has 2 strikes in a row, and he has a chance to fire another $1,000 ball. Remember, he did it before. Peter Surette did it before. And here we go. And oh no, the 6-pin did not go down because 1 piece of wood came behind it, 1 in front of it, and kept it from going down. So close. A spare. Are we adding a little excitement to your lunch today? How about that? Seven is the fill, and he's looking at 2, 4, and 7. For another mark? Yes! Now Peter Surette with a big lead. 2 full on the head pin that time. He winds up with a split. 3, 6, that puts him over 400, however. Oh, what a shot! A beautiful shot by Peter Surette. Oh, is he hot? Wow, is he hot. And another strike. Wow, is he hot right now. I think he wants to come back next August. All right, Gary Casey still working on a spare, and he has so close to a strike. The 6-pin's still up, and some wood, which is being looked at right now by Ralph Stewart, who says, go ahead, it's all right. It's all in play. For another spare, yes, and another $50 in bonus money. So close to a strike, 9 pins down, he left the 4. Oh, and he just missed it, just missed it. Now, let's see, he's already at 145. In this string, obviously, I'm talking about. Give him 5 more. Eight was the fill. Nine more. He's up well over 440. Putting up a big, big number. And he has left the 5-pin. Yes! He is right now at 451, if my arithmetic, don't trust me though. $451 and $453. And Brother Tom comes up and slaps hands. $453. Final 2 now for Gary Casey. We may have 2 400s. 4 horsemen left side. Yes, he got it. All right, let's see how far over 400 he goes. He's got an 8-pin drop. So we're going to see how far over 400 he goes. He's got 2 to pick up on the left. Is he going to get him? Yes, he did. For another mark. So that puts him at 169. The amazing thing is that he has an opportunity to win this 3rd string, even though it's just amazing, isn't it? 5. They tied the 3rd string, at $179 apiece. How about that? I mean 174, excuse me, 174. 174 apiece. Isn't that amazing? $25 apiece, but that's amazing. Can you imagine 174 to 174 in the third string? And also, can you imagine rolling a 174 third string and losing by 35 pins? Amazing. 2 400s, final score. Our new champion, Peter Surette, 453. Gary Casey, 418. And in case you're wondering, 871 is the total, both bowlers combined. And no, it isn't the highest in the history of our program. The two previous highs, Dick O'Connell against Gary Carrington. Dick had a 468, Gary had a 415 for a combined total of 883. That was back in June of 1987. And I'm sure most of you remember the number 2, that great battle between the guys who are a doubles team and who are together so much of the time, Gary Carrington once again and Joe Ashline. That was earlier this year on February 23rd. Gary had a 451. Joe Ashline had a 424 for their combined total of 875. And today, of course, it was Peter's 453, Gary Casey's 418 for the total of 871. And we do not keep a record of single strings like this or where two bowlers together. But if anybody out there remembers any time, after all, the program's been on since October of 1958. We're in our 34th year. And Don Riley and I have gone over, neither of us can ever remember two bowlers combining on the single string for a total of 348. I mean, that's just, whoa, wow, 174, 174, just phenomenal. And let's see, getting back to the business that we have here today, we have $250 in here. And while I have the opportunity, because I haven't had it for a few weeks, I want to remind you again, no more than 1 card per day. I want to get that squared away, because somehow or other, Phil gets a big pile of stuff right on his desk, and he has to go through it. Make sure it's on a postcard. Take your guess as to what the total pinfall will be, both bowlers combined, on the day that you hope I'm going to draw your card. And you can, no more than 1 per day, but you can send in 1 per day, so you can get in 30 during a month, or 31, obviously. And then after we have a winner, we will dump them all out again. If we don't have winners, we just keep piling in more and more, and also putting it up $50 every week. So it is right now up to $250, 10 either side. If it's within there, nowhere near that, that person will be rewarded with a handsome gift from the Parker Pen Company. I'm just still baffled by, wow, 2 174s. All right, let's see now, 871. Think you'll have anybody anywhere near it? Can we automatically put $50 for next week? All right. 871. Well, listen, this one comes from Al Giglio's hometown, Methuen, Massachusetts. This is Cecile McKinney. $749. You're right. We add $50. Now, the high-low jackpot. Let's see what that is up to now. $1125. What do you say, Peter? $1,125.
Come on, Pete. Take it.
Okay, Peter, behind Gary up here. Let's see, for Gary, we have $350 plus $325 in bonus money. What a phenomenal way. I mean, if you're going to go out, I mean, what a way to go, right? Well, listen, you had your two big days in the sun in the past, right? And you've had a long, long string with us, and I'm expecting to see you back again next year, all right? Here, take this smaller one along. And Peter, come over here. This, and let's see if I can count up all the money that you got today. $1,275. Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
Doug Smith is going to be your challenger. Well, I'll be floored if we have another show like that one. But
I hope so.
All right. I saw Tom give you the big high five, huh? All right. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next week.
here's a special announcement. Next week's Candlepin Bowling Show will be on at 11 a.m., followed by the return of Candlepin Doubles at noon. So that's an hour and a half of bowling next Saturday, starting at 11 a.m. here on Channel 5.